Welcome to the Making of a Professional Development series on differentiating instruction in the standards-based elementary classroom. My name is LaShawn Carter Andrews. I am a Full Sail University student in the Education, Media Design, and Technology program, and I am also the creator and developer of this series. Our first installment will feature an overview of differentiation and podcasting. Stay tuned and watch the vision unfold. It all began with my first full-time teaching position in a fourth grade classroom in a school that was frantic over state test scores, had just received a class set of MacBooks, and the administrator wanted to see differentiation and flexible grouping in all of the lessons. Fast forward to the end of that year, my class actually ranked the second highest overall in math and ELA for the grade, but I was still clueless about differentiation and the group work seemed insignificant. As I completed my master's degree in special education, I began to understand how to teach students with differences. I noticed, however, that my colleagues did not seem to get the concept, nor did they seem to want to get it. I witnessed many students unable to reach their full potential, students that were bored with their classes, they were unfulfilled, and they were beginning to get into trouble because they were simply daydreaming and failing. Then here I am, November 2008, about to embark on another voyage as I delve into another direction of education. And when given the choice to select a few topics for my culminating project, oh boy, the first thought that came to me was, what would give all students an equal opportunity at acquiring knowledge in today's classrooms? Because frankly, I was so disheartened with what I was seeing. And that is when I decided to join two topics together, differentiation in the standards-based elementary classroom, using all the skills that I was acquiring through this program. Because elementary school is the foundation of your education, and it either makes you or breaks you, depending on your elementary experience. And so voila, the concept was born. Ultimately, I wanted to design a system that, when given the criteria, would provide the teacher with lesson rationales, lesson implementation ideas for all learning styles, subjects, and grades. But that was far from my area of expertise, so I had to hone in on where I could make a difference, and that's when I realized that many teachers had difficulty with differentiation and even understanding standards-based instruction because their understanding wasn't clear. So that's when I decided to teach teachers and administrators. My research was based on my own teaching experiences in Suffolk County, New York. I developed this topic on the basis that the learner would have the same resources that I had, and even for individuals with little tech experience. I was on a mission to search out all that I could on differentiation and why it seemed so difficult to implement. During my research, a name kept appearing, Carol Ann Tomlinson. From journal articles to books on the topic, and that's when I really uncovered the truth. I discovered that Carol Ann Tomlinson was the one that spearheaded this movement. But it came from such an area of practicality and the heart of a true teacher. On the What is Differentiation page of my website, you encounter this visionary firsthand in her explanation of differentiation. I included a short video, which is an interview of her explanation, and a simple visual depiction or concept map, if you will, of some key components to what is required in a differentiated environment. Then I also included, at the bottom of the screen, a link to a simple, quick assessment of the interview using Udoo, a free online course assessment tool that I learned about in month 10. But I'll talk about that a little bit more later. My goal for this project was to teach teachers and administrators differentiation by developing the format of the project in a differentiated manner. So as you will see on one page, I used several different components of what I gathered from the program in order to give a brief introduction and overview of differentiation. MLT, Month 1. Brain-based learning theories and MI theories support a student-centered model with teacher being facilitator and learning administrator. Theories, online learning, concept maps, group projects, but the bottom line was meeting the needs of all learners. This is the essence of my project. All students can learn. However, all students don't learn the same exact way. Understanding this vital philosophy will allow educators to place their energies in assessing how students learn best. One way of assessing your population initially can be done using Web 2.0 tools and apps that may still need to be developed to assess and inventory the learning profile and progress of students. Month 3, Emerging Technologies in a Collaborative Culture. I was introduced to Web 2.0, and here I was able to use web applications for planning, organization, management, and teaching, which is essential in a differentiated environment. In this installment of the Professional Development Series, educators and curriculum developers could use Web 2.0 for creating podcasts, among other resources for the classroom. Months 4 and 7, where I fell in love with filming, I also began to see lots of storytelling and filming classes locally for elementary students. Filming can be used for tutorials, virtual lessons, for student-centered projects, and independent lessons for students with academic difficulties, or as lesson extensions. It's used here to deliver information on differentiation and how to podcast. Stay tuned for future installments in this series on filming and video in the elementary classroom. Month 9, Media Asset Creation. Things started to come together for me this month. I will admit that I was a bit nervous because I didn't know what direction to go in still. And this class offered the how to customize your curriculum in the community for differentiation. It was Ron Smith's interview in which he described front-loading, the planning required to develop your curriculum before the school year begins, so that you're actually not doing any of the planning during the school year. You're actually just facilitating and delivering all the instruction and support that the students need. Allows the teacher to move around the room as the students discover. This is the epitome of a differentiated classroom. The teacher is able to quickly assess the learners on a daily basis and remediate where necessary. This course also provided me the tools that I needed for bridging the gap in communication between parents and teachers using blogs and video conferencing. And then month 6, music theory. The content of this course is paramount for a K-2 classroom, which is immensely multisensory. Repetition, chanting, and songs for learning, they're the basis for early childhood education. And by using GarageBand and other web-based applications for music creation, could take the memorization of elementary concepts to another level, as students could use iPods and DSIs to create and study. Month 10, Learning Management Systems and Organization. This is where I saw it all coming together. But sadly, I can say I only have the concept still. Someone, somewhere will be able to develop the system that I envisioned. Maybe I can collaborate with them while I work on providing teachers adequate training, support, and follow-up. Something that many professional development programs lack: support and follow-up. Personal learning environments, course management systems like Moodle and Udemy, and learning management systems are the vehicle for aiding the teacher in the management and organization. It may seem as the students are teaching themselves, and they sort of are. The teacher is still the facilitator and is able to steer them in the right direction. Well, it is clear that something needs to be done in American education. So many nations surpass us. Standards are raised and then lowered, or exceptions to the rules are introduced when students cannot meet the higher standards. And that is just unacceptable. We cannot allow the rapid innovations of technology to lessen American intelligence when globally knowledge is increasing. The direction of education in our country is shifting. National technology plans are being developed and refined. But can the disparities among the nation's schools be eliminated to provide adequate resources for all to have an equal opportunity at learning? This project is only a portion of a larger vision called Putting Education First, an education initiative that I am developing to serve the underserved. It is a holistic vision that will educate the entire community based on the principle that people perish when knowledge is lacking. The lack of knowledge can keep a community oppressed, and the provision of knowledge can cause positive change called growth, development, and independence, emotionally and financially. This initiative will provide information for schools, educators, parents, and students so that the community would come together, work together. Full Sail Panel, thank you so much for your support and your impartation of knowledge and experience. I hope that you realize the grand impact that you make through educating each one of us that carry dreams to make a difference for the future. Together we are changing the educational opportunities of society and will affect the lives of millions. The valuation of this project is marketing it to school districts and Full Sail's stamp of approval. So long for now.